Hello, and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Bitcoin keeps pushing, no sign of exhaustion. We did have already a break of the 42K level earlier today, but that has not changed the scenario or the structure here at all. We currently see no substantial weakness. It's interesting though that the altcoins are not really strong at all at the moment. So I just want to start on the daily time frame again to just highlight the meaning again of that 43K level here. It's the 78.6 extension level of that wave 1 to the upside. And it is one of the quite reliable indicators, you know, and pivots to decide if we are in a wave 1 of a larger degree third wave, or if it's just a corrective structure which is unfolding here, okay? Now, the corrective structure wouldn't necessarily be bearish. I have to say that as well. It, however, would open the pathway, yes, to new bear market lows. It is a possibility, but don't forget that this could also simply be an A, B, C structure in a larger A wave, which will give us a B wave pullback, which might be deep, and then a C wave rally later. Okay, so it might still make a higher low, just maybe move down a little bit deeper than what this wave 2 would normally do in the white wave count. So the difference between basically the yellow count, which is the corrective count, not impulsive count, is that, yeah, we could still be in a bullish market, but the road to my ideal targets, around 125K, yeah, for the bull market, it will just be a much more, let's say, rocky road, okay? And also this scenario, if it plays out, which would become much more likely above 43K, well, that would be just a much more difficult scenario to track and a less reliable one, okay? So just want to mention that, that above 43K, the yellow wave count will get much more likely, and I will probably add a micro count for that. By the way, I probably can move the B wave here as well. I will add a micro count for that yellow wave count as well in the next few, I don't know, next few days, depending on how quickly we get above the 43K level. Not entirely sure yet how the micro count would look like, but I would be leaning towards towards the idea that we completed here a wave 1, 2, but all of this is 3, then we get a 4 and a 5. So also here we should see some kind of a pullback, maybe not that deep. So that's sort of the yellow count, and the white count still unfolding as well as potentially wave 1 of the larger degree third wave, okay? So the difference between both wave counts is that the white count should take us to the bull market target with basically very shallow pullbacks only, in quite a straightforward fashion. Of course, there will be twists and turns. Of course, there will be pullbacks, but in the yellow count, it will be much less predictable. But on the other hand, it will be much more volatile, most likely, will take a bit longer, and allows for much more swing trading, I would say. Yeah, so it's not all bad. But the problem is if the yellow count plays out, it will just much less predictable going forward. So yeah, so that's sort of the situation here still. 43K is the next key pivot point on the daily time frame that, in my opinion, will shift the probabilities from the white count to the yellow one. So I will always guide you along the way, right? So let's take a look at the shorter time frame wave count, because Bitcoin saw a bit of a dip, but really just a very shallow dip. Yeah, so the idea is still Bitcoin pushing higher here in what would be wave 3, yeah, of 5, of 1. That's unchanged from the previous video. What has changed is just the support region a little bit, because we pushed a little higher. The price approached the 1.38 extension. It got rejected there, and it's now consolidating still at a pretty high level. So I don't really see much exhaustion. The idea is still that a larger degree fourth wave finished on the 14th of November. We're dealing here with our ABC structure. Yeah, the B wave was the triangle that we talked about. Basically here, yeah, barrier triangle, which is an ascending triangle essentially. Yeah. Okay, I haven't drawn the trend lines very accurately now. It doesn't matter. Anybody who followed my analysis over recent days and weeks knows that I was following a triangle here. I added earlier today a micro count for this move to the upside, 1, 2, 1, 2. This here is the third. I mean, that could be finished now. Watching potentially for a fourth wave pullback. That could be in the making. Here, as long as it's holding the 40,695 level, the focus could be on higher in a still unfolding third wave, circle wave 3. Next Fibonacci extension targets to the upside, yeah, 42,230. And then, I mean, I can add the 1.5 just to show how meaningful it will be. It's not a very common one, but it adds a little bit more precision to the chart. That would be here at 42,670, and then we've got basically 43K, okay? So as long as the 40,695 level is holding, I have no confirmation that a top is in place. Can still stretch out higher, but yeah, as you can see, I mean, it's coming close to an end, right? This rally now on the smaller time frames as well. We basically entered that 41 to 42K ideal target range that I've mentioned in previous videos. And now we just need to see, okay, how, you know, do the micro support levels hold? And as long as no micro support level is broken, I see no reason to be bearish or anything in the short term, or at least expect a larger pullback. So we just follow the trend, but be aware that it's very overheated now. Now on the daily time frame, we continue to see those bearish divergences, or at least a bearish divergence. Be aware there's a trend line here as well that you can draw. So the price, or the RSI actually, might test that, okay? It would need to get back to the value of around 80. It's now at around 75, 76. So it might just test that. Okay, a break above that trend line could be bullish. So be aware of that, and that could just send it higher in the yellow wave count. And then we've got the next pivots basically at 50K and 59K. So yeah, so you see the distances that the price can still travel also in the yellow wave count. Yeah, that's my update about Bitcoin. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter. You can find a link for those channels in the video description. On Twitter, on Insta, you find additional content every single day. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.